The History of Theater presented by me, Austin Brown. So, theater started in ancient Greece, or at least Western theater started in ancient Greece. Performance itself may be as old as humans. However, writing scripts did not occur until the 700s BCE. Tragedies of Thespis, written in the late 500s BCE, are the first known written plays. Comedy, tragedy, and satire, which had a chorus of half men, half goat characters, plays were popular. Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, Aristophanes, and Menander were the major playwrights of the time. Choruses were essential to the action of the plays. They serve different functions. As a group character, which set the mood, as a narrator, and as an ideal spectator. Choruses are not used much nowadays. Theater in ancient Rome, moving forward, Rome began the trend of relegating choruses to the background or not using them at all, which is kind of more of what you see nowadays. Romans took a lot of theatrical aspects from Greece, including the structures and plots of plays. The first plays in Rome were written by a Greek, Livius Andronicus. His first play was produced in 240 BCE. Three Roman dramatists, Plautus, Terence, who is a comedy writer, and Seneca, existed or wrote plays during the time. Paratheatricals like mimes, chariot racing, and gladiator combats drove tragedies and comedies from the stage. The Renaissance would later revive interest in Roman drama. Only occasional adaptations of Roman theater are popular now, such as A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which is an adaptation of Plautus' Pseudolus. Moving forward into medieval theater, Catholicism dominated the culture across Europe, which led to a very homogeneous European population in terms of their culture and their religious interests. With that being the case, religious drama was popular. Most authors during this period were anonymous because writing for God and the church, for most people, required anonymity. Religious drama began with the liturgical drama. Quem Quaertus Trope was the earliest one of these. Trade guild members would later perform circle or mystery plays out in the streets. These were anonymous too, and they are written in the common tongue of the time, and they reinforced church teachings. They rhymed and they were episodic. They went in episodes. Morality plays like Everyman and miracle plays, some possibly written in by the first female dramatist, Herospitha, were popular too. Religious drama died because rulers like Elizabeth I in England forbade their production to avoid religious disagreements in 1558 during the Reformation. And theater during the Italian and English Renaissance. The Renaissance began in Italy, and through the new printing press, ideas quickly spread throughout Europe. It was like social media, the social media of today. Theater lost church support and became professionalized, which, in addition to the stability of Elizabeth I's reign, who ruled from 1558 to 1603, led to great playwrights like Shakespeare, which later paved the way for Shakespeare. University wits such as Thomas Kidd and Christopher Marlowe applied the Renaissance ideals to theater. Kidd wrote the Spanish tragedy, and Marlowe wrote in blank verse, and wrote Dr. Faustus, The Jew of Malta, and Edward II. Shakespeare wrote plays that are still popular today, like A Midsummer Night's Dream, Romeo and Juliet, etc. The French neoclassic period, French neoclassicism. It was based on a verse multitude, which focused on arriving at a universal truth, like universal life truths, and decorum, which meant that characters behaved according to their status and place in life. Three genres, which were tragedy, comedy, and pastoral. 3 unities, which were time, place, and action. A 5-act form and a 2-fold purpose, to teach and to please. It suited those in power because it focused on control and order. King Louis XIII and Cardinal Richelieu formed the French Academy to censor plays and other aspects of French culture. In 1636, it censored the Cid, Pierre Corneille play. This was combated by comedy writers like Molière with plays like his Tartuffe. He combined elements of neoclassicism, commedia, and farce. Racine's Phaedra was popular at the time, and Victor Hugo's Hernani, a non-neoclassical romantic tragedy in 1830, finally shifted the French theater to the period of Romanticism. So it was that play that progressed it further in France, that hit theater further in France. During the English Restoration, which stems from the word restoration, stems from the restoration of the line of King Charles back to the throne after 20 years of the control of the Puritans. It started in 1660 when Italian staging was brought to the English theater, which brought more changes such as allowing women to perform to the stage. Breech roles had women dress as men. This had downsides, though, however, as women were often objectified in rape scenes. The Comedy of Manners, featuring playwrights like William Wycherley and William Congreve, were popular. These were similar to neoclassicism in that the aristocracy was depicted, but different in that the lower class characters were also included in these plays. There was also an increased interest in spectacle during this time. Melodrama, which was influenced by Romanticism, which was the rejection of the universal roles that you found in neoclassicism, gave way. And melodrama means music drama. It's mellow means music, and drama is drama. Melodrama was a way for the working class to escape the difficult everyday lives in the factories provided by the Industrial Revolution. Two-dimensional characters were used. The good always won, and the bad was always punished. The plays always ended happily. The plot is constructed out of episodes. Gilbert, Pixel-Court, and Dion Baucault were popular in the 1800s during this time. Melodrama is not popular in theater today. However, it is still widely used and seen in television and film. And that moving on, that takes us to realism. Whereas Romanticism and melodrama focus on escaping the ills of real life. Realism in its realist form, naturalism, focused on confronting those ills directly. It went on to become the dominant form of non-musical theater in the 1900s. New scientific research and discoveries from Charles Darwin, Sigmund Freud, and Auguste Comte contributed to the general want of the time to explore the depths of reality. Setting became a more crucial part of plays as it affected the social standing and or troubles of the characters that were used. Henrik Ibsen's Ghosts and A Doll's House are examples of realism, as is August Strindberg's Miss Julie, being an example. August Strindberg's Miss Julie is an example of naturalism. Modified forms of realism, allowing flashbacks and ghosts, are popular, even still today. Realism has been countered by symbolism, expressionism, Dadaism, futurism, absurdism, and postmodernism. Because with every new thing you have a reaction. With every new movement, you have a reaction. Symbolism, expressionism, Dadaism, and futurism. As I just said, they all began as reactions to realism. Symbolism began in 1885, and it utilized symbols to represent a truth, back to representing this universal truth thing that you kind of found in neoclassicism. And its plays were set either in the past or in fictional worlds, and its plays are also tend to be vague. Expressionism started in 1910 in Germany, just before the First World War. It sought to reshape the human spirit, which they thought distorted by external forces. The plays were message-centered. Significant playwrights through this time included Georg Kaiser, Ernst Toller, Bertolt Brecht, and Elmer Rice. Dadaism and Futurism, they also arose in the early 1900s. They were not as influential because they were not specific with their ideas and forms. And lastly, with absurdism and postmodernism, absurdism formed in the mid-1900s and was named by Martin Esslin. Absurdists viewed the world as illogical, hostile, and meaningless. They focused on exploring conditions and did not use linear structures. They used circular or spiraling plot structures that would often repeat back to where the play began. Notable examples of absurdism include Samuel Beckett and his Waiting for Godot. Other playwrights include Jean Genet and Harold Pinter. Postmodernism, its plays de-emphasize the text. They tend to be reworkings of existing texts, or they are also used as outlines for more creative works. Heiner Muller's Hamlet Machine is an example of this. It kind of offers a new spin on Shakespeare's Hamlet. They offer multiple meanings through their rejection of realism. Postmodernism has allowed, since the 1960s and 1970s, historically marginalized groups to represent themselves and highlight their struggles as well as their lifeways. Groups like blacks and gays and Latinos and Latinas and transgenders, a lot, and people of the working class, people like that. And for this, I used Explore Theater, a Backstage Pass by Michael O'Hara and Judith Sebesta, our textbook for Theater 100. Thank you.